Hello and welcome back to the Doctor's Garage here on YouTube. So today I'm with my new generation Ford Ranger Raptor that I've owned now for about 4 months, and I've done about 2,000 miles in it now. So I'm going to give my honest thoughts, my overview of it, a bit of a review really of what it's like to own this vehicle, what it's been like to live with, some of the things I love about it, some of the things I don't quite like about it, and hopefully if you're looking at buying this or just interested in the new generation Ford Ranger Raptor, this will be an interesting review for you. So I've owned my new generation Raptor now for about 4 months and done about 2,000 miles in it, and I've absolutely loved owning it. And the backstory to this was previously I had a Land Rover Discovery 5, had a lot of problems with it, and when I had the problems with my Discovery, Land Rover lent me a Toyota Hilux, and I actually really enjoyed having a Hilux because of the load bay in it and the fact that you could put loads of dirty wet gear in the back, and it didn't matter because it was isolated from the cab, so a really nice load space, and personally for me that worked very well. So I got looking at pickups. I bought a Ford Ranger before this, the older shape one. It was fine. I enjoyed having it, but I only had it for a few weeks purely because it didn't really have enough power for what I needed it for. This is the 3-litre petrol now, and this is much better for towing and lugging stuff about. So I preferred this, and then this is the one that I went for, like I say, a few months ago. And I've absolutely loved owning it. It's been a brilliant truck overall, and if you, like me, have a family, but also want to do a lot of sports, a lot of gear, highly recommend one of these trucks. Now, when I bought my Ford Ranger Raptor, it wasn't brand new. This was about 11 months old, but when I did buy it, I wanted to make sure, like I always do in my vehicles, that it wasn't a dodgy one. It hadn't been written off or crashed previously, and that's why I used the website Car Vertical, which is a vehicle checking website that takes you through everything you'd want to know about a vehicle that you're looking at buying. If it had a report like this is not a vehicle I'd want to buy. You can see this vehicle has been previously crash damaged and repaired and resold, and I want to make sure I want to avoid this if I'm buying my next car. You can use the code DOCTOR for 20% off your next vehicle check, or use the link in the description below this video or pinned in the comments. Since I bought my Ranger Raptor, I haven't done a load to it. I've done a few little modifications which I'll walk you through now, but generally I think it's really well prepared for most things you'd want to do. Comes factory with the BF Goodrich all-terrains on there. It's got really good clearance. It's actually running on Fox shocks throughout on this truck. But one of the things I have done was this rack. So this is a Front Runner Slimline 2, and it's the first bit of Front Runner gear I've ever owned personally, and it's been brilliant and really transformed how I use the space in my pickup truck. So previously you obviously have just the space in the back here in the load bay, but for me this hasn't really been enough, and I wanted to get something above it so I didn't have to ram everything below it, which was just taking a lot of space up in the truck. So put the Slimline 2 rack on it, and I've bought a lot of different accessories for it that you can see. If we start on this side, got a little essential here, the bottle opener on the side there, and then I've got these little tie down rings, and these are great because the Slimline 2 has these rails. You can fit so many different accessories very easily inside here. So we've got the tie down hooks, and then these stratchets they're called from Front Runner, which I'll show you in a minute when I get on top. I've got the Pro Fork mount kit here for a bike, and then that's the rear bike tire bit there. If I get up, let me show you those stratchets. So these are very good because they're elasticated, and you can pull them, tie them down, and then you get a really good hold on anything that's on top of your truck, like my paddleboard that's up there at the moment. First bit of Front Runner gear that I've owned. It's very solid and very well made, which I've been very impressed with so far with the gear. It's not the cheapest, but it certainly feels like it's going to last a long time and does make me feel comfortable carrying stuff on the back of my truck. I've also got a paddle mount on this side that you can see here. So paddle mount for paddle boards, and you can use this for shovels as well. Really holds them solid on here, and it also just stops them rattling around in the back. I've got the tie down hooks on here, and I've also got the rubber groove bit here, the rubber, I don't know what you call it, but essentially it goes in the grooves. You can get as much or little as you need, and it can go in here, but also along the edges as well, and it means that when you're putting stuff on the top like the paddleboard, it sticks and doesn't come and move around. I've also got in here, because my bike has slightly wider forks, it's got this adapter plate here, so I can use the original spindle bit in the bike to be able to go onto there, and that helps the bike stay on because mine doesn't fit on the normal mounts. So overall I've been really impressed with the Front Runner gear. It's the only modification I've done. I do need to put another leg in here and move this leg a bit further back, so I mentioned that on the last video. I just haven't got around to doing it at this point. But yeah, Really love the front runner gear. I think it's really well made and actually looks really good on the truck, but also allows you to mount pretty much whatever you want on the back there. Apart from that, it's very, very standard. So standard, the Raptor comes really well kitted out. You've got the side steps, like you say, you've got the good ground clearance, you've got the all-terrains. What else you got on here? You've got twin exhausts, you've got anchor points, toe anchor points on there. You've also got a 2-inch hitch receiver, which is really nice because it allows you to mount a whole load of different things into there, and you can take it away when you're not using it, like I have at the moment. This is the 3-litre petrol V6, and again, brilliant engine. The only thing it's bad at is economy, but everything else, it's brilliant, drives very well, a very fun truck to live with and own. Take a look at the inside of the Ranger Raptor. You have to excuse the mess, this is very much just lived in. I've changed all the mats for these rubber mats from Spider, which are about £70, I think, on Amazon or eBay. And these were very, very good because it just means you can dump stuff in the bottom, not worry about your feet too much when you're here. The interior of these is really, really good. Seats are very, very comfortable. Kind of like this bit of a bucket seat design to them. They're special for the Raptors. And they have this little bit of sort of Alcantara inserts in a few places. But feel very nice, and these are heated as well. These have the orange accents in them. One thing to note if you're looking at Ranger Raptors is the orange accents on these, the steering wheel, everywhere is on these, whether you get the code orange paintwork or not. So if you get a white truck or a black truck, it still has code orange inserts. So something worth bearing in mind, and it's one of the reasons I went for this colour, and actually I've really got into loving this colour. Initially thought it was very bright, but actually kind of got used to it now, and actually think it suits the truck really, really well, and particularly works with the inside inserts as well on the seats and the interior. Take a look in the back row. So I've got 2 kids, and it's pretty messy in the back, as you can see, but they have a decent amount of space, to be honest. Like, it's similar to what I would expect in my Discovery. It works for them at this age. I think if you had adults, it's probably a little bit tight for long distances, but it's not too bad. Let's go have a look inside, and let me show you through some of the data that I've got for the last few miles that I've done in this. So let's turn the truck on. Right. I'm just going to reverse to get out of the sun a little bit. So this is Trip Computer 1, which is the main trip computer that I've been logging everything on. So you can see I've done 1,934 miles. My average speed was 25 miles per hour, and I've done 19.6 miles per gallon. And that's really realistic. You know, people will say, oh, but the mileage isn't too bad when you're driving slowly. But I've done this, I've driven it fast, slow. I've also towed with it for a number of hours of its life on this trip here. And 19.6 is probably pretty average. So I'd say you're looking at about 19 to 20 miles per gallon in real world living. Unfortunately, it's no more than that. And that's just what I found personally. Other people might say different, but for me, that's what I've got here. Infotainment and stuff in this is really nice. You've got loads of different options here: forward towing or ambient lighting or different camera setups. The cameras are very good in here as well. You've got like reverse cameras, you've got tow ball cameras specifically. You've got really nice integration with Apple CarPlay on here too, which is also really nice. Take a look around, and it's just really nice having the full screen, because the full screen allows you that really good view of everything in the center of your console. So yeah, really nice interior. Feels very comfortable to be in, works very well. You've also got on here some of the settings which are quite fun. So you've got like sports steering, comfort steering, you've got sports dampers, comfort dampers, and then you've got the exhaust modes as well. So you've got Baja mode on here as well, which is always a fun option to have. Just gives you a bit of a rev there. It says for off-road use only when you're in that mode. Some other cool features on the interior is the little unit up here. So kind of like the Ineos Grenadier, actually, you've got these switches here, these toggle switches, which are quite aircraft-like, and these are for different electrical circuits that are throughout the car that aren't wired up, but Ford put them in and leave the wire points in certain parts of the vehicle for like light bars or accessories, and you can have them wired up however you want, which is nice because adding aftermarket switches is always quite messy in anything you have. And I learned that from my Defender, is, you know, being able to have them like this is quite nice. You've got glasses case there. What else you got? Just lighting bits through there. So yeah, overall really nice. You can hear the burble of the exhaust there too. And yeah, I've really enjoyed owning it. It's been a brilliant truck to have. It's done everything I've asked of it really well, and I've had no problems, no issues, no glitches, no electronic glitches, no engine glitches, nothing with it so far, which I'm hoping continues for many more years. If you were to ask me 3 things that I love about this truck, I would say The driving in it is really, really fun. It's a very fun car with the engine, particularly when it gets a little bit wet with the rear wheel drive. It's a brilliantly fun car to have and just adds that little bit more excitement if you've got a family car that also is a bit of a performance car all at the same time. And it's pretty, although it's not rapid, a car that size with the way it moves, even if it's like 6 or 7 seconds to 60, feels very, very quick in that truck. Number 2 would be the interior. For a pickup truck, I think the interior is brilliant in this. Very, very comfortable and does everything I need. So the interior, the infotainment, the screens are a really nice addition to this truck and a massive upgrade from the previous Ford Rangers. And number 3 would be pure capacity. The ability for this thing to haul stuff around and tow as well as it does is a massive bonus in this truck for me personally. 3 things that I dislike. I'm being very picky here. I'm not that keen on the fact that it's got Ranger embossed across the back tailgate. That's number 1. The engine, as good as it is terrible economy-wise, as you've seen, 19 miles per gallon. That would probably be number 2. You've got to be ready for it to be an expensive fuel bill if you're running this car regularly on long distances. And if I'm honest with you, I'm really struggling with number 3. I don't know what else I dislike about it. Maybe some of the cosmetic stuff could have been differently, like the silver bar through there. But apart from that, I really love it. And I think it's been an absolutely brilliant truck to own and live with. And I hope that continues for me and we go on and on with it for loads more adventures. I hope you found that an interesting overview of my ownership experience of 2,000 miles with my Ford Ranger Raptor. If you've got any questions at all, you're looking at buying one, let me know in the comments below. And similarly, if you've got any experience of a Ford Ranger Raptor from any parts of the world that you might own this in, let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching the video and I'll see you guys very, very soon.